is always a challenge when branding your business, and to promote it and to grow the business. So about 6 months ago, my cousin Jackie called me and she said, "Girl, I had a dream about you." She said, "I dreamt that you were birthing something." I got a little concerned. You know, she's a chaplain, and she has these occasional premonitions or visions. And so I said, it better not be a real baby. That was funny, you guys. So we concluded it was ODOS, or some people call it ODOS, 1 degree of separation. Then it became ODOS, Synergy Services. My new baby, my 501c3 that I just got approved for in February. So give me a big... Then it became the women of color, changing the narrative to empower women around building their businesses, identifying resources, and learning how to be phenomenal entrepreneurs and making a contribution to our economy, like me. From the founder. Welcome to the first annual ODOS Women of Color Changing the Narrative Entrepreneur Conference. This concept is about transformation. Transformation, and many others like me who jumped from corporate America to leaping into entrepreneurism. Stepping out on faith to create options and a livable wage and possibly get to retirement. There are women 40 plus years of age, African American, Latina, and Asian women of color who have limited financial resources, who are corporate dropouts, who are affected by cost of living, health care, and the housing market. The rules are changing for us, and no one has a solution. African American female entrepreneurs are the fastest growing segment in this country, and we are the least successful in our businesses. During the Women of Color Conference, we will start a dialogue here in Silicon Valley, a transparent conversation about decentralized services, gaps in our community resources, information, and access. Our speakers and panelists will share their expertise in economic development resources, funding, health awareness, best practices, and most important, strategies in a digital marketing space in preparation for this fast evolving global economy. We need the same access as our affluent entrepreneur counterparts. This is not just a tech or STEM issue. This is a universal issue impacting diverse, underserved communities and the need to promote collaborative efforts. After this conference, ODOS will strive to strategically partner with entities willing to share training, technology tools, develop partnerships around collective economics. It is our goal to create an equitable playing field, to advance the entrepreneurial skills of diverse women, empowering them to scale productive businesses in a global economy. So we at ODOS, the new 501c3 Synergy Services, we invite you to join us, partner with us, volunteer with us, and most importantly, give us some donations to further our efforts in this community. Now, this is very special. I want to introduce a very special person, Council Member Magdalena Carrasco, who resides over the 5th District in San Jose, which just happens to be my district, this district. I live right up the street, so this facility was really convenient for me. Councilmember Carrasco was elected in 2015. She served as Vice Mayor of San Jose from 2017 to 2019, the first council member from East San Jose in over 30 years. During her tenure in San Jose City Council, Councilmember Carrasco has been a strong advocate for women by championing a robust wage theft ordinance that holds employers accountable for failing to compensate their workers properly, and by leading efforts to connect low-income residents to all the services that the city provides. Councilmember Carrasco has also focused on policies to support women, including the passage of the Women's Bill of Rights, increasing funding for services that assist survivors of domestic violence, and strengthening policies to address human trafficking. Additionally, her record includes efforts on the council to create paths for good-paying jobs through city investment, developing a clean energy program, and establishing equity projects for cannabis business opportunities. Councilmember also committed to solving our housing crisis by increasing the supply of market rate and affordable housing in the Santa Clara County. She understands that we must promote affordability by accommodating the needs of working people across this region. Recently, Councilmember Carrasco pushed a child care and early education initiative that will prioritize city facilities for child care, promote child care and ground floor rental space and new mixed-use buildings, review and streamline our permitting process for child care facilities, which we believe will increase 1,000 child care slots and assist with access and affordability for our city of San Jose residents. Now I will turn this hot mic over to the council member who will give a welcome from the city of San Jose. Let's give her a big hand.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank Lisa for bringing us together on this Saturday morning. Otherwise, what would I be doing other than cleaning up a creek or something, right, Omar? So this is much better. Thank you so much. I get to wear heels today. But I want to thank you so much for being here, because I think it's important for us to be here and to support women. And as you heard, a lot of my policies have revolved around working families and supporting women, because we know, with all due respect to our allies and men and to the men here, women are still the primary caretakers of children and aging parents. And I'll tell you that now as a single mother of 4 children, my oldest is about to turn 25, but you all know what that means. She's still someone that needs a lot of taking care of. But three little ones that are still in my house, and a mother who I just buried, actually. And I took care of my parents until their last days in home with very, very little support. And so we must do everything and anything that we can to support women so that they can continue with their careers, be self-sufficient, provide for their children and their parents, and still be able to feel productive and to be part of this booming economy. And so when Lisa came to my office and told me about the vision that her relative had and the birth that she was about to give, which I thought also, dear God, I hope it's not a baby, because I know the feeling. But I thought that this birth would be beneficial to all of us. And so I wanted to be part of it. It was exciting to be part of it. And as you can see, when it's the first year, you should be very proud to be here because you're part of the pioneering effort. It doesn't have to be a room full of 1,000 people. It would have been great, but it doesn't matter because you are planting the seed of encouragement and inspiration. And so I want to thank you for being here and believing in Lisa's dream. I represent this district, so welcome. Welcome to the east side of San Jose. I have a very friendly banter with the other council members. I let them know that this is the best side of San Jose. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes. And I say that because of this. All of the city of San Jose is beautiful. And we have the mayor of Milpitas, and he'll say, Milpitas is more beautiful. Okay, we'll leave it at that. But what I say is this, the reason why East Side is so beautiful is because this is primarily a district that has been birthed from struggle, from the social inequities that I'm sure are not foreign to you. And when you're birthed from the fire, you're stronger because of it. Yes. You have a greater sense of perseverance, and you have a greater sense of purpose. And it's not always inward, but rather it faces outward. And it's to be shared, whatever form that comes in. So we sit on Alum Rock, on the Alum Rock corridor. It is the oldest road in the city of San Jose. And if you travel up Alum Rock, it leads to one of the most beautiful parks, Alum Rock Park. A lot of people haven't been there. But when they started improving it and investing in it just a couple of years ago, as I was taking office, they found trolley rails. And we started to rediscover our history. So the muckamucks of Hollywood and Beverly Hills used to come all the way down and used to go up to the sulfur baths in Alum Rock. It was a thing. And sometimes we forget about our history. And when we are in the midst of another economic boom, you know, before we had in Silicon Valley, we had the chip, and you saw the techies that, you know, really took advantage of it. Now we have a housing development boom for many reasons, and I'll get into that in just a second. But what you're going to start seeing up Alum Rock Avenue is a lot of development, because it is prime battleground. We're in one of the poorest neighborhoods, so we're aching for housing. But along with that comes the woes of it, which is displacement and gentrification. And when you have a community that has been so proud of its Portuguese roots, of its Latino roots, of its Vietnamese roots, suddenly start to see it change very rapidly, by the way. The fear of where do I go? I'm being priced out, starts to settle in your gut and in your conscious awareness. So the policies that we've been pushing, that I've been co-authoring on ODOS, has to do a lot with that. How do we help women stay here? Single women find childcare so that they can go to work, so that those questions don't have to keep popping up in the middle of the night, so that those floating numbers that you do over and over, those calculations that keep you up at night, don't wake you up at 1 in the morning, so that you can continue to be productive, but more than anything, so that we can make housing affordable again. And how do we make sure that developers, when they come in with respect to a community that deserves to be respected, not just used and seen as opportunities of economic advantage to them, but how do they begin to invest in a community where they will become very wealthy, but now where our community residents get to reap the benefit as well in community benefits. So that's my job, to make sure that that happens, and it happens through policy. And it hasn't I haven't done it alone, because again, through struggle comes activism, organizing business associations that have been rebirthed. We have a very active business association because, and it's why we're here, our businesses have suddenly gotten their second wind and said, we're talking about displacing of homes and families, children and schools. Now let's talk about displacement of businesses. Because some of these businesses have been handed down from generation to generation, from fathers to their children, from grandfathers to their grandchildren. And so now the character of this community is starting to change. We don't want, with all due respect, a street full of Subways, Quiznos, and Domino's. We want to keep the small mom and pop shops that have given us the Brazilian flavors and the flavors of Portugal and the flavors of Mexico and the flavors of whatever country that people are coming and sharing with us. And so they need additional support, and we're also spurring on some analysis on how do these developers help them keep their rents low, but also build out the tenant improvements, which is sometimes when they give you a space, they give you an open shell, right? No plumbing, no electricity, no counter spaces, and no flooring. So we're working on an analysis, and we're working with developers to make sure that when you move in, because you have a taqueria, or you're going to make the best pupusas in town, that they build out the kitchens for you. So this, instead of spending $200,000, $300,000 before you ever make a buck, it's already in there. So again, we want to make sure that the prosperity that we're seeing in Silicon Valley trickles into your wallet. Because you are in charge of not only taking care of your children or maybe your aging parents or your aging in-laws, but you're giving jobs to other employees. And we know that, at least in the city of San Jose, when we talk about small businesses are responsible for the majority of the jobs where our residents work. So we want to make sure that you stay alive, well, and healthy and prosperous. We never want to see storefronts close their doors or businesses go under, but rather how do we help? And just across the street, we hope to be able to also open up a business resource center that will give you help in training, advancing your business endeavors, rebranding, whatever resources you need, and we're working on that as well, putting funding towards that. I want to thank again Lisa for bringing us together and really hope that, that this will just be the first year of the next 50 years for Lisa, because that's sometimes how long a baby takes to be independent. But I have great hopes, and I want you to know that you are welcomed here in San Jose, most definitely in the east side of San Jose. And of course, my staff is back there and right up here in front. Whatever you need, make sure to give me a call. And I know that you're in great hands with Lisa as one of our guiding lights here for women entrepreneurship. Good luck to every single one of you. I know that you will do great things, and I want to really express my appreciation in everything that you do to make sure that our economy is healthy, and what you do with your families as well. I know that it takes a lot. Women are the bedrock of our society, and sometimes we don't appreciate you nearly enough, but I want to let you know I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I want to give the council member another hand, please. She doesn't know this. I've been here like 30 years in her district, and we just met. So hopefully I'll be around and I won't be on a cane or in a nursing home doing my business there. I'm almost there, actually. My voice is just so raspy. Can't say that word. See, thank you. Last week, I had the distinctive honor of meeting Mr. Rico Chacon, TV reporter personality here in the Valley, a legend. I shared with him that I was starting my new nonprofit venture, and Rico said, "I have a nonprofit," and I cried a lot. He told me, "Don't be afraid to cry." I want to introduce someone very special that I met several years ago, Milan Valentin. Someone who I highly respect, and I've seen his passion, I've seen his tears, he's cried too, and I'm crying too. Struggles and his sheer will and determination to keep climbing and building the African American Community Services Agency here in San Jose. And again, I've been here 30 years. I've done it all. I was on the NAACP board, not with Jack, some other people. Those other people. I'm kidding. I worked in aging and gerontology, again in tech, and I've seen it all. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody like Milan. He is a phenomenal man. Let's welcome, wait, I gotta read his bio. That was his bio, okay. Mr. Milan Valentin, one of Ebony's, bachelor's, no I'm kidding. 2016 Power 100 People's Choice awardee, is the Executive Director of the African American Community Services Agency, an organization providing quality educational, cultural, social, and recreational programs, services, and activities in order to perpetuate and strengthen African American identity, culture, values, traditions, and knowledge, and family life at the heart of all programs. Since the beginning of his tenure, Milan has increased the annual budget to 400% by designing and implementing outstanding fundraising strategies and developing beneficial corporate relationships. Prior to devoting his work to fulfill the AACSA, Milan utilized the public speaking skills handed down to him from his grandmother, the woman who introduced him to the NAACP, as a road to success beyond his neighborhood, and served as a voice for those who very often went and continue to go unheard. First speaking throughout the state of California, then growing his audience nationally, Milan has the privilege of delivering keynote speeches for the United States Navy, the Garden City's Women Club. Additionally, he has served as Master of Ceremony for countless outstanding events, including the San Jose Deltas. Woo! Where's the Deltas? I got a Delta on my planning committee. She's a bad mamma jamma. Sorry, Teresa Williams, yeah, okay. A Bay Area native born in Oakland, raised in San Francisco with a Master's of Public Administration from Golden Gate University and a Bachelor's of Art from San Jose State, my alma mater too, yeah. Milan has acquired significant community awards, community affiliations, and collaborations, including the Tiger Woods Foundation, 100 Black Men, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, and there's a lot more. I couldn't go into all of that, it's a lot. Let's give my brother a hand. And I'm one of his gerontology coaches. You know, I'm not a millennial, I'm a little bit older, but he's coaching me, he's grooming me, so let's bring Milan up. Thank you.
Wakanda? Somebody didn't see the movie. Wakanda? Oh, come on, you gotta mean it. After I saw that movie, I thought I was a part of the movie. Wakanda? That movie taught me a lot. That's what the African American Center is to me. It's a forever thing. Well, thank you, Ms. Lisa Riley, CEO of ODOS Synergy Services, a 501c3 birthed here in San Jose, California, for inviting me to MC your event for women. I was like, you sure? Because women outnumber men by a large number that you want me to MC this event? I already felt the pressure because you as women have carried this nation long before we were even recognizing you. And so for me to be asked to MC an event in front of you, she asked me to do it in service. And so us as men should continue to support you, to fight for equal wages, to fight for you to sit on boards in this county and in this country, and continue to lift you up as women, because you need us to walk behind you, on the side of you, and keep pulling you to the front of the room. Amen? So that means I'm working for you. If you need some water or something and I'm on a break, I can go get you water as well. Serving as the Executive Director of the African American Community Service Agency has been an honor. This is my 8th year. I started with the agency as a volunteer in the community. So I've been with the agency for a total of 15 years. When I started, I had a 1.5 staff, $90,000 budget, and everybody saying, run away from the organization. But because I'm a person of faith and spirituality, I prayed and God said stay faithful to it. So today I'm proud to say that the agency now has 6 staff members, a $1.2 million budget, and the building has been renovated multiple times. And multiple times. If you come to the agency today, you will see a new, refreshed building that is continuing to be rebuilt and revitalized. Right now, our bathroom, our main bathroom that people have been telling me that needs to get restructured and fixed, was just gutted. It should be done by the end of this month. We're gonna host a whole celebration for the bathroom, because that took 25 years. I don't hear you saying amen, but I'm saying amen on the inside. The building is being painted. The Golden State Warriors just renovated the Inez Jackson Library. So if you go into her library today, there is the city's 6th Bridge Library with books for children to come and read. We now have our STEAM on Saturday programming, educating kids of color, particularly Black and Latino children, about STEM in our own agency. Thankful to the city of San Jose for approving the $300,000 that I advocated for to get this building in better condition and shape. After 39 years of having no heat or central air, the building now has central air and heat. So God bless all the organizations that still were having meetings. So when Lisa said she was starting a 501c3, I said she's gonna need all of us at the table. Because I remember going around and advocating for organizations to return to the agency. Yes, we are an organization based and focused on African American, because if you look at the statistics, African Americans show up at the top of many of those disparities. And we are moving out of Silicon Valley at alarming rates. We are often not on commissions or invited to a seat at the table. But the beautiful thing about the African American Center is we serve all people as well. No matter who you are and you walk through the door, you can get services and you can also get advocated for. That is what our community has always done. 400 years ago this year, when we came over as kings and queens on a ship. They might have called us slaves, but we were actually kings and what? Queens. Look, she said, I know my word, queen, because you are queens. And so I'm here today to help work this program. We want to give a round of applause to all the vendors here today. You're also vendors on the floor. Even if you don't buy something, go buy and grab a business card and tell 10 people about that business. That's how it works. We also want to make sure that we thank all of our sponsors. If you are a sponsor, can you please take a stand? We have our Honorable D5 Representative fighting for the people of Dayton, Councilwoman Magdalena Roscoe. We have Reverend Jeff Moore, President of NAACP Silicon Valley Chapter. We have Mayor Rich Tran of the City of Milpitas. And we have Ms. Charlotta Carter. Is she here? There she goes, in all her glory. Thank you for investing in this program to make it all happen. Did everybody check in? You want to check in because there are some amazing door prizes. How many people need a vacation? Raise them high. Raise both hands. I know I saw you in the back. Well, one of the door prizes is a 3-day, 2-night trip that is being offered by your keynote speaker. There's a list of destination places. Lisa, am I exempt from this vacation? All right, so restrooms are right outside to the back of us. Please put your cell phones on mute. because we don't want to interrupt anybody. If you want to go ahead and implement the church one finger, it's fine, we understand. That when you see somebody that does not say stop, it just says, I'm coming through, I'm trying to be respectful and quiet, okay? A few other things that we want to go ahead and do, because we want to know who's in the room, we want to visually identify. I had a learning disability while growing up. I did not learn I had a learning disability until I got to San Jose State University, and they were trying to figure out, like, how did you last so long? This is what the guy said when he was testing me. He said, typically young black men in college would have dropped out by now, but you held on. So let's make sure we learn how you need to learn. So visually, I do a lot of visual things, so I'm going to show you how I learn. So if you have an exciting vision, and you want to create something amazing that you are passionate about, and that you have a vision, please stand. If you want to create something, or you're creating something that you are passionate about. Okay, look around, identify the faces. These are the people that you want to make sure you talk to before you leave today. So wave at your new friends, because they're coming over to meet you. I don't want you to act like you don't know. I'm an introvert, so whatever's happening right now, I got a Superman shirt on, don't worry. Okay, you can sit down. Are there any entrepreneurs in the room? Look, the vendors in the back waving like, hey! So look around to all your entrepreneurs. This is your business people. They're gonna help you get more business or support your business or become one of your clients. Okay, have a seat. Are there any business coaches in the room? Here, we got a new slogan, here we go. Let's see where she's at, she's an exciting one. All right, see all your business coaches? For those of us who are introverts, these are your friends. These are your friends. Okay, business coaches? Now, is anyone in the room ready to market your business and compete in this digital age? You're in Silicon Valley, that should be everybody. Right? You want to compete in this digital age. You need free laptops, Wi-Fi. The mayor of San Jose is working on a major digital. Okay, I said, wait, look at the people. Look at the people, look at the people, look. These are your friends, these are your friends. Do not forget to take the survey. If you leave early, that's fine. We want you to stay for the whole event because there's a lot of resourceful information happening today. But we have surveys. The reason why we want you to take the survey is because it will allow Lisa to know what to improve on, what she did well, what her volunteers executed, and how you felt about the overall program. So by show of hands, everybody that's committed to do a survey, show me your hands by raise of hands. Lisa, you have this on tape. All right. So next, I am going to invite up Reverend Jeff Moore, President of the San Jose Silicon Valley NAACP. Reverend Moore has served at the helm of this organization for at least 7 years. He is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. He is also a good black man to look up to. You see what happens on the news, what they show you, but they don't show you is brothers like him working, who is a father and a husband and doing the work on behalf of the people. So to keep us getting on time and staying on time, I'm going to bring up Reverend Moore for the prayer.
And good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here. I was told I had a couple minutes to say something, and Sister McElvain, council member of District 5, I'm part of the East Side, and you know how we roll in the East Side. But there are some problems with the expansion. I wanted to make sure, everyone knows that. We recently lost Giant's Barbershop just down the street in Santa Clara. And we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware that Prayer Garden is in trouble as they build the building across the street from Prayer Garden. They want to close 6th Street from St. John to Hetty, which means the church cannot survive 2 years, but people can't park in front. As well as Jackie's Restaurant will be affected if you cannot park in front and get the food. So what I'm asking is make sure that that street stays open at least one way so they can park, and the church can always stay in business. Amen. So you that don't know, Prayer Garden has been with San Jose for 75 years. Yes, I said I had a couple of minutes, and one thing I want to talk about is we have the census coming up. The 2020 census, they've cut the money. And they're only going to be going by to find out if you live in that house or if you live there only 6 times instead of the 10 times I think they used to be. And And so it was very important. That's when I got placed on the steering committee for the census for Santa Clara County. And I walked in the room, and the first thing I noticed, I was the only black guy in there, only black person in there. I noticed there were 10 subcommittees: a committee on women, a committee on LGBTQ, and a committee on immigrant affairs. So my very next letter that went out was, where's the committee on black folks?
All right now.
So expect to see something, and some of y'all getting some calls real soon to make sure that we are on this census count committee. And we will, and that's my dancing partner over there. Yeah, y'all know I dance. Don't go where she is. She gets you up and dance all night. And I'm so glad to be here. And if I could take a moment just for silence for the 50 men and women and children lost in New Zealand, if we could. Amen. So, you know, my job caused me to travel a lot, so I won't be able to be here with you long. We're working on a program later on this evening out in San Jose to do some memorializing. And I have been asked to meet with Maha and Zara from the Muslim community as we plan some events, and as well as they're asked for some of us to help stand guard at the mosque. So we'll be working, so I'm working all day today. So I got somebody getting my birthday present for my wife together over there. So I got to make sure I got to take that home and be ready for April. Get it while it's on my mind so I won't be late, amen. This is Women's Day, this is the women's event, and I'm proud to be here because I was birthed by a woman. I was birthed by a mighty black woman out of Birmingham, Alabama, 16th Street, 9th Alley. I come from Birmingham, so I'm very familiar with those white people. So, first thing I want to say, there's a new movie coming out. I have 2 boys, and it's the Avengers called Endgame, you know. And then they're bringing in all the Avengers faded away and died and everything, except there was something left. And there was a powerful movie that came out, said something about Wakanda forever, right? And there was a powerful group of women in there that were the warriors. Did y'all pay attention to that? The women were the warriors, and were the bodyguards, and were the scientists. Those were black women from the black community. That reminded me of 16th Street a little bit. You couldn't mess with none of us because the women would come out and take care of everything. But there was an actor in there named Dana Gura. She was one of the black bodyguards, if you remember. She was a general. She played the role of General OK. Now, this new movie that came out, that's going to be released April 26th, as you look at the new poster, the first poster that came out, you notice they left that black woman off. They left her off, and they put her name in small print at the bottom. I'm happy to tell you, I stand before you today to tell you that after much calls and much writing to them, they've changed that. The new posters come out. Her face will be on the poster as part of the movie. That's what we have to do. So I was asked to pray for Vicki Adams, NAC director out of East County, one of my cohorts. So I'm here to ask to pray for her. And I thought about Harriet Tubman. She said, unconditional affirmation. I'm going to hold steady on you. And you got to see me through. That's for the sisters. 1 degree of separation, you said, that we have synergy, collaboration, and faith to take our community and women of color to the next level. Sojourner Truth said, do it for me, God. Oh God, you know I have no money, but you can make the people do for me. And you must make the people do for me. I will never give you peace till you do. God, do for me. That's what we're asking God to do for these women today. Amen? Amen. These women of color, these people of color. People from the east side, and wherever you may be from. We need to pray for this country and this world. I recently sat with some cops, let's just say, in a great city of San Bernardino. I've never been in such a white, racist power structure in my life. Sitting down with that group of cops. And they told me, Jeff, welcome to Southern California. We do things different down here. And I didn't understand what they meant till the meeting started. But they said they might have won that battle. But they just are to see me fight. So as I prepare a letter, you'll see some things probably popping in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully I'm going to change the whole face of post. I serve on post with peace officer standards and training. And my goal is to make sure there's some black faces on that board that understand black and brown problems. And we will be accounted for because we are educated and we're strong. And once we're educated, you can't give us no fear because we know how to read. You may have got me in an ambush here, but hey, I'm circling the wagon. I'm coming back with some boys and we're going to handle this situation. So we're going to take care of it and try to make some faces and make sure that there's some more women of color, and people of color that serve on peace officer standards and training. We're going to stop this stuff they're doing for us in this state. I was told to mention my gala, but my flyers are back there, like I said.
What's the date?
April 27th. She's going to stay on me. Let's pray. I was brought up here to pray. And, you guys, I get on it and because they're going to be doing all this fantastic stuff in the city, and just really we're fearful of the spatial recognition that the police are trying to put in. We're afraid of the smart cities, and they're tracking us, knowing when I come in and out my door. So a lot of that smart city stuff, you guys got to watch what you're hooking up and who you're giving our information to, because our information is personal. And they got people feeding off these smart cities that are stealing our information for their own good. So as the city goes forward with smart cities, know that there's some smart people trying to take advantage of the disadvantage. So that's a fear. And when you give police facial recognition, and I don't know, y'all got Alexa? Whatever that thing is you talk to, or you push that button in your car, and it doesn't understand you sometimes because of your black dialect. You ask for coffee and it says water, or it does something different. That's how facial recognition works, and it's going to be pulling us over and looking at us and identifying us as the wrong person. Then they're going to grab some of the wrong people, and until they do that, you guys got to stay on top of it. So facial recognition, giving that to police and having them identify me or misidentify me is dangerous for me. Lord God, just take over. Lord, we ask that you open up the windows of heaven. Lean out over the battlements of glory. Send down those twins, mercy and grace, O God. Eternal and everlasting God. You are the Father of all mankind. As we turn aside from the bitterness of everyday living, may our hearts and our souls, our very spirits be lifted upward towards you. For it is from you that all blessings come. Keep us ever mindful of our dependence upon you. And without our efforts, we are just fruitful people. We pray for your divine guidance as we travel the highways of life. Lord, all of the earth you created, all of us for a purpose, O God. Father, you have gifted us for greatness, and we can do nothing without you, O Lord. Lord, stir up the gifts, talents, and purpose you placed in us. Help us to dream again and to glorify you in our life, O Lord. We have been sleeping on our dreams, O God, and we know we need you to awaken us in a desire for pure and do your will, O Lord. We release all the people who don't believe in us and spoke words of failure in our life. We seek your face, O Lord, to restore the dreams and talents that you have placed in us for greatness and success. Lord, we ask you to provide needed funds for equipment, needed funds for college, networking opportunities, business, and travel if needed, O Lord. Allow us to have divine appointments in our life. From here on out, God, connect us with other believers who are pursuing your will with pure and just hearts, oh God. Remove anything from us that would cause us to fall, to sin, and to lose our dreams, oh God. Remove from us all people who are in our life who are not supportive. Turn the hearts of those who really love us to support our dreams. We need you, Jesus, to stir up the gifts with the power in us that flow through our talent, oh God. We pray for more courage. We pray for more faith. And above all, we pray for more love. God, we pray for those in New Zealand, oh Lord. God, you said to pray for those who despitefully use us or abuse us. We pray for those hateful people. We pray that you would silence 45. Help us remove him from his throne. For he knows only his sickness, that what he represents of this nation, oh God. That if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and turn from their way, seek my face, then they will hear from God, and you will heal our lands. In the matchless name of Jesus the Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's give Reverend Moore another round of applause for that prayer as well as introduction.
Just like a woman taking over. I know you guys are going to leave, and so, council member, I have a certificate for you, and also for Reverend Moore. So we got to make sure we got to get them the certificates before they take off.
So if you want to post pictures to your social media page, now is the time to pull out your cell phones. Let's give Reverend Moore another round of applause for addressing us with some key issues that he noted. One I want to point out, the census, this is true. What he mentioned, I just met with the county at the African American Center, and I also raised that question of why is there no committee for the African American and the Black community, being that we've been here for so long, why would you not have that committee? So they said they're open to starting that committee, so if you want to join the committee, let Reverend Moore know or myself so we can make sure we advocate. They're also taking the census online, which is a huge issue for the senior community who does not have digital access, which means that we possibly in Northern California can lose a seat at the table representing us in Washington, D.C. So we're all going to have to get together because the current what they call an administration is trying to prevent communities of color from having access to wealth and dollars. Amen? So we are going to move the program right along. Did everyone get your programs? All right. Thank you so much. That clap was so inspiring. Right on time. Crowd participation, energy, you know. We want to identify that we have a whole day for you prepared. We have an afternoon panel discussion of entrepreneur best practices, economic development and resources. And we have Ms. LaTanya Moore all the way from Huntsville, Alabama. She's going to be the deciding factor today if I make it to Alabama in my lifetime. Because it's so hot down there. But you know what? A lot of my history comes from the southern states. So we have her all the way here. And then the second part of the day, we also have Ms. Tracy Davis, CEO of Zing Pop, who's also going to inspire you. Yeah, come on for the clap. She is on cue. I did not hire her. She's here because she's a powerful woman. We're next going to call up the Honorable Mayor Rich Strand, who is mayor of the gateway to Silicon Valley. You didn't know that, huh? You gotta go through Milpitas to get to San Jose. Unless you know of another way. Look, Linda in the back like, hey. The Honorable Linda Alexander is here with us today, people. He is the city's, actually, let me correct myself. He is this is his hometown. So he is the first, it's been 32 years since you guys have had a hometown mayor. So it's very near and dear to his heart to be mayor of the city of Milpitas. He is a graduate of UCLA. Any Bruins? It's Bruins, right? I'm a Spartan, but I understand what the Bruins, they didn't let me in there. He's on the Veterans Commission, and he's also on the Finance Subcommittee. And he does a lot. But when I asked him simply, what would you like me to say about you? Because, you know, elected leaders have extensive bios. And all he said was, I am Milan's friend. That's kind of powerful, you know? Sometimes you gotta look to your left and make sure that people are your friend, right? You don't really know if people are your friend. But when he said it, I took that to heart, so I thank you, because friendship is a powerful thing. We need friends to make all of this work. So he'll tell you a little bit more about himself, because he's one of the most dynamic brothers running things around Silicon Valley that I've been able to meet. So ladies and gentlemen, predominantly ladies, I now introduce to you Honorable Mayor Rich Strand from the city of Milpitas. All rise.
Thank you, Milan. Such an honor and super flattered to be welcomed by everybody here. I met Lisa Riley through the community here in this valley, through my friend Ron Scott. Where's Ron at? He's not here. Oh, we're gonna get him later. Yeah. I want to first recognize Councilmember Magdalena Carrasco. It's always special to be in her district and be welcomed. Allen Rock has always been a place where a lot of folks from my city come to, whether they go to, I think, Wyoming for some breakfast at a restaurant there. We spoke about Giants Barbershop. Toward the hills, we got Dukeman's, which was there for a long time, where a lot of students went to get their athletic apparel. And so it's really special to come here and be a part of the community and support the local businesses. And I think that's what we're here to do today, which is to support our local businesses, especially for women of color and those entrepreneurs. I really like the nonprofit 1 degree of separation. I love that. I love that because it's all about connecting with folks and having an emotional tie. That's what it's all about. And so, also changing our narrative, or just really controlling our narrative, because if we don't write our stories, then someone else is going to write it for us. And so I'm so happy to see all the entrepreneurs up in here today. I'm going to make sure I purchase something on my way out. Maybe some earrings. We'll see what we got. Can't let it hang too much, you know. But yeah, you know, growing up in Milpitas was pretty good. We have such a diverse community. We have a deep African American history. And I grew up, I had a lot of black friends. I was kind of the one Asian guy on the team. And so I was able to be exposed at an early age to different cultures. And I think I learned as a 6th grader what it was to be a woman of color entrepreneur. I would go to my friend TJ's house, and TJ's mom owned her own babysitting business, caregiving. And so she took care of all the black kids and children for the whole neighborhood, Sunny Hills. Yep. I want to get to you. That's Milpitas official DJ O. Henry. I want to give a shout out to DJ O. Henry. What's up? DJ O. Henry's been living in Milpitas for 1956. Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but you know. But I learned a lot from you. Thank you. And I remember going over to my TJ's house in the 6th grade, and all of the black kids and the babies would start crying because they'd never seen an Asian person before. But I learned about business and about entrepreneurship, and that's one of the basic forms. My friend David, right, in Milpitas, my friend David Wills, he was also my friend. His dad coached me for Pee Wee football, Coach Wills. But I remember going to David's house, and then his mom would be getting all these shipments of products and this and that. And she owned Black Heritage, which was in Milpitas for a very long time. If you're familiar, yeah. And so I see it all across the valley, different type of businesses. Places like Braided Up. People know what's up out here. And I was a customer. I had the Zags, I had the singles coming out the back with the extensions. Yeah. But it starts there. It starts there, and then it grows, and then it grows. And even, I think today, as compared to maybe 10 or 20 years ago, when I watch TV, I even see women of color. Instead of seeing Ricky Lake on TV or Rosie O'Donnell on TV. I'm seeing Wendy Williams. I'm watching The Real. You know, Oprah killed the game. And so I think we're starting to see it more, and I think being a woman of color in business right now is the hottest thing. It's the hottest thing. Because you do see copycats out there trying to be women of color. But it's all good because now you got 100 new customers at your hair salon. Thank you. How about this? Where's Lisa Riley at? Yeah, I got your combination. Yeah.
Lisa, you handing out pies? Is that one of my pies? Look, y'all, look, I won't witness it. Lisa got me a pie. Oh, it's not gonna be okay. It's for the honorables. Let's give Mayor Rich Strand a round of applause. Now, where are you gonna go where you get a pie? I just wanna know. Committee, am I on the list for a pie? I love to eat. You should be able to tell, yes, I'm eating well in my 30s. Let's give a round of applause for the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. And he noted that DJ O. Henry is an official DJ of the city of Milpitas, but technically Silicon Valley because he's always at the AACSA. Let's give him a round of applause. If you are hosting a birthday party, a wedding, I mean, he does funerals too because you need to party on your way up the Greater Road. Make sure you pick up DJ Henry's business card. Don't act like you don't know the DJ is a vendor too. And look, he even came with a tux. Now they told me don't put on a full suit today. Somebody told me yesterday we didn't believe you had jeans. But he outdressed me today. He wins. It's okay, he wins. Give him a round of applause. He's gonna be jamming his drink today. Lisa, let's talk about my pie. Wakanda? Listen, I mean, in the movie of Wakanda, as Reverend Moore said, the women, I had to sit back and like, I think that's my grandmother right there. But she raised all boys. And so she didn't play with us because she knew what society was going to do to us when we got outside of her doors. So she was very tough on us. I call her my board of directors in her 81st years of age because I call her and I get her advice because I don't know when her last days are coming. But the movie Wakanda just really depicted how African American and black women have protected our community over the years and generations. So thank you to your grandmothers and your great-grandmothers and your ancestors for listening to them to continue to show up. Because when you look at the elections that's happening these days, black women are turning out, saving communities. Oh, let me switch. I'm turning around because whenever I talk about politics, I can't represent my 501c3. So although these two wonderful people who have put themselves up for elected office did not mention because they're in their office capacities, they are running for public office for the County of Santa Clara Board of Supervisors. So please talk to them also about that because they also need dollars. You need to listen to what their issues are and what issues are they going to champion for the community and how they may serve in that capacity. Although they are competitors, they should always remain what? Friends. Because at the end of the day, whoever does win, you're carrying a burden. Sometimes as leaders, we go home and cry at night. And we wonder, how am I going to get this done when so many people, there are 1 million people in just San Jose that are complaining all the time, but also there are those of you who are actually on the ground doing the work. So let's give both of them and their staff members and those of you who have voted for them a round of applause. I'll meet you both in the parking lot for a slice of the pie that Lisa didn't do. Ooh, I'm burning in my suit right there about this pie.
So one of my new planning committee members, I have to give her kudos because she's been marketing and promoting me, Miss Crystal Calhoun. She was so excited about being a part of us, our organization. I have about 6 or 7 volunteers helping me. And she went out, she's getting her business license and she's going to be a baker and she brought a bunch of pies. So ODOS is going to be selling pies for fundraising. So Miss Crystal, see her about your pie. Hold on, I'll take care of you later.
Everybody say, hey, Crystal. And I'm gonna say, hey, Crystal. Okay, Lisa, you just got off the hot seat. I'm gonna talk to you right now. Just to the agency. Okay, everybody, the code name is TT for the Pies. You get 15% off. Actually, no, you do not get 15% off. Let's be clear. When you support businesses in general, including black businesses, do not ask for the discount, ask for how much does it actually cost for the pie. Why? Because black businesses and businesses that are minority usually take a fall on you asking for that discount. Wait till they do the discount plan to they say thank you for the discount. Can I get a round of applause for the no discount? The Christmas said, oh man, brother. And that's because you want to pay full price so that they can be able to compete with the large competitors. And do not be afraid to follow up with Coca-Cola and some of the big brands to get those dollars because they have initiatives to help you with small businesses. They actually are looking for you, so you go ahead and look for what? Them, because they can help you. So when you go to the events, ask them, the producers of the programs, who sponsored this event? I want to meet them because they also like to meet new entrepreneurs who are working with them. At the African American Center, we have now 40 relationships with corporations and companies that Lisa was at one of our events. Our goal was to introduce them to companies that we're working with to empower you as women of color, changing and creating the narrative, right? All right, we're going to call up our poetess. She's in the room with her royalty. Her crown is bright and shiny today. You want to start walking towards the stage for me? Do you want to? Let's give her a round of applause as we applaud for Sister Keshi Salamu.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My kind of day. Anytime I can come somewhere and see public officials do what they do and keep it real, I like to be around here.
With a hand on her head.
Yes, I am so happy. My name is Poetess Kalamu Chashe, a rare writer of the day, which is the meaning of my Kiswahili name that I wear so proudly without shame. So whenever you see me, repeat after me how you are to call me. Say Kalamu,
Kalamu,
Chashe.
Chashe.
Kalamu,
Kalamu,
Chashe.
Chashe.
Oh, y'all, it's the title of a role so vital, and I pledge to do my very best for you, because I'm the talent that tries to bring the truth before your very eyes. So whenever you see me, repeat again how you are to call me. Say Kalamu,
Kalamu,
Chashe.
Chashe.
Kalamu,
Kalamu,
Chashe.
Chashe.
Chashe,
Chashe.
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 Chashe,
Chashe.
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 We got a good reason for being here today, so let's give ourselves a great big round of applause. Let's hear it now, let's hear it now. Yes, I am from the original Wakanda, Nairobi, East Palo Alto. Nairobi, East Palo Alto. We are the original. We are a community that struggled. When we moved in, they moved out. They tried different tactics to try to keep us out, but we're still there. Our population has really dwindled from that time of those 50s and 60s, of our people migrating from all over this country. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and so my family moved here. And what I can tell you is that we still rise. We are facing all kinds of problems in our city, but we're still there. We dared to be in 1983, and we're still standing. I'm thankful so much for this opportunity, and Lisa, this is a good thing you do. I'm sitting here, and I'm saying that all of our communities need to have this kind of a conference happen. So I know that's a lot. You won't be able to do all that by yourself, but I hope that this is going to start somewhere with people thinking, okay, well maybe I can't get Lisa to come, but we gotta try to see who we got in our community that can help make this happen. So I thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Let's give a bigger round of applause for that. That's a lot of work to get something like this out. Something new, something different, something that we haven't been seeing. And we can do a whole lot. So I'm the kind of artist that get moved to do things. And so this is what happened. I was preparing, and all of a sudden the Spirit just hit me and said there was something special I had to do with the audience before I delivered the poem. And I'm going to have you all participate in this with me. At this moment, what I would like to do is let's give Lisa Riley and all of her team members a great big round of applause for bringing us together. Let's let them hear it. Let's let them hear it. Next, I would like everyone in this room to stand at this moment. Everyone. I'd like for you to pair up with somebody right now. Get close to somebody. Get close. It's going to have to be 2 people. Get close. Next, I need you to face each other. I need you to hold each other's hands. I need you to look that person in the eye and smile. Say each other's name. Call each other's name. This is what it takes not to be a stranger. Okay, we ain't trying to get no hookups or nothing. So this is the story. And now looking at that person. Keep looking at the person that you're with. Keep looking at that person. Smile to that person. And say these words after me. We are the center. We are the core. We are the key to opening any door. Say it again. This time I want you to say it loud and with conviction. We are the center. We are the core. We are the key to opening up any door. Let's give ourselves a great big round of applause. Hey, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You may be seated now. You may be seated. A woman's place is in the universe. Hear these words inside of you. A woman's place is in the universe. Speak these words, for they are true. When you were born into this world, you came prepared to do your share, to uplift every man, woman, boy, and girl. You are to do great things while you are here. You are virtually half of the population. What you do is of great importance. For every problem, you are the solution. You truly understand the human dance. A woman's place is in the universe. Know this and keep walking into the light. A woman's place is in the universe. Fulfill the destiny of your own birthright. I'm Portis Kalamu Chashe, thanking you so very much for being here.